Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneurs Connect Show. Of course, it's my very rare privilege in this podcast to sit down with Africa's most inspiring entrepreneurs to learn about their journeys, their secrets. How did they start? How did they scale? And what can we take away today to build the life and business of our dreams? The nuggets that are going to be shared in this episode is going to leave you inspired and equipped to take action and literally level up. So without further ado, let's dive right in.
Would you say you're a born entrepreneur or you learned along the way?
Which born what? Luckily for me, I'm an Anambra girl, and somehow we have business in our DNA. For some other people, the business acumen may be down. It's not dominant. I wanted to work. I wanted to work in development, maybe work with the UN, the World Health Organization, work with UNICEF, ECOWAS, AU, NEPAD. That was what I wanted. If I couldn't get that, I would work Ministry of Foreign Affairs. If I don't get that, my last resort was to become a lecturer. I do very well in that. Yes, I like talking to young people, and I like exploring. I'm very adventurous, and I love teaching. So I said these were three career paths I wanted to tow. Then Nigeria happened to me in the sense that you look for work, go find. So I remember my husband asking me to start a business. I was like, no, I don't want to start a business, because my very first experience with business didn't really go well. I was in the university. I think I was in my third or final year. We had a trip to Ghana. I bought a lot of beautiful fabrics.
From Ghana?
Yes. I bought them in one big bag like that. So when I go back to Oka, I was very excited because I said I was going to sell this and make a lot of money. Well, to the glory of God, till date, nobody paid me a penny for my fabrics.
Did they take it on credit?
Yes, of course. They took it on credit. And I was too ashamed to ask them for my money. Yes. Because I felt if you're owing me, you should know you're owing me. Yeah, I don't need to come tell. And a lot of them were my friends, right? So I refused. So I believed business wasn't it for me. So when my husband was like, hey, do business, I was like, over my dead body. But halfway through my master's, I realized this master's thing is consuming money. And the road to becoming a lecturer is a long one.
Yeah.
Will I just be doing this until I get it? I thought, okay, let me just start something small. So I started with my baby shop. But then I had 2 kids already. And I was like, this is easier. I started selling it in my car. I will buy, these small baby stuff like stockings, cap, onesies, sleeping suits, small things. I spread the word, told my family and friends, and I was selling. Sometimes I would go to UPTH.
Sure.
During their antenatal, I would, talk to some of the women. Sometimes I would go, I wouldn't sell anything. I'll just waste my fuel and come back. Sometimes I will sell 2 socks, 3, But as time went on, I became better. So I rented a shop.
Okay.
I got a shop in front of my house. I was very lucky. And it was very easy for me to combine school, business, and mothering, take my kids to school, bring them back. And from there, I've always loved writing. I never knew or thought I was a writer, but I've read a gazillion books. So I have words in my head, always roiling and, wanting to escape. So on Facebook, I started writing down stuff, just simple recollections of my childhood.
Yeah.
And I remember on Rant HQ,
yeah,
I would write. Yes, I would write. For me, these were basic stories. Just me talking about what my mother did to us while growing up. And before you know it, it caught fire. People were responding and they were following me on Facebook. So I was like, why are they following me? There's nothing special. Human beings were very good at commonizing our gifts. That it comes easier or easily to you doesn't mean it does the same to others. For me, I felt this is something I just do. I didn't know it was a gift or a talent. I didn't know it was something others couldn't do. So from there, I grew my following. Then transited to Instagram. and continued. Now, Instagram was very difficult for me to conquer simply because I felt Instagram was a wild place where everybody was perfect, where people were pretending to be who they are not. And the few times I tried making it on Instagram, it was difficult because I felt nobody's going to listen to me because you're not shaking your boobs, you're not doing the whole makeup thing, the whole flinging of hair. That was what Instagram was doing then. Then the last time I decided I was going to make a go of it, I was like, if I am going to do this Instagram, I am going to do it on my own terms, my own way.
Where did the name Veronica's daughter come from?
Oh, because Veronica is my mother, and that woman showed me Shaggy. She showed me premium
Visually decided to build your brand around.
Oh yeah, she showed me Shaggy with a touch of Banza because I was a wild child. When I say wild, you know, if your parents are conservative, anything you do is actually wild. But, you know, she held me with an iron fist. So now, as a mother, I look back and I really understand her fears and what she wanted for me. You get, it's not easy. I have a daughter who is 11. So now I look at her and I am scared. Now I understand what my mother was seeing. You get, so and the fact that when I write my stories on Facebook, I say, oh, Veronica, my mother. So it was people on Rant HQ that started saying, where is that lady? That's Veronica's daughter.
Oh.
That lady that calls her mother Veronica. So on Instagram, my name was Ankara Boss because I sell fabrics, right? So that was my name. So when people look for me on Instagram, they don't know who is Ankara Boss. So someone called me and said, Ella, wait, you are Veronica's daughter. I would laugh. I said, yes. She said, people are looking for you on Instagram. So why didn't you? I was like, uh-oh.
That was like light bulb moment.
Yeah, that was like a brainstorm. Like I had an epiphany. So I quickly changed my name from Ankara Boss to Veronica's daughter. And I saw people like, oh, I've been looking for you. I enjoy your stories on Rant. And I'm like, that was how the name came. And because my mother was also a very strong influence in my life, she did the best she could to steer us correctly. For my father, in fact, I am more my father's daughter than my mother. I don't know, that's the truth. I look like the both of them, but my character, my personality is my father through and through. Yes, my father is a huge humorist, a huge prankster. My father is that person that will hide behind the door and scare you. Oh yes, my father is a person that would dress up and say, okay, you guys, today we're going to do karate. Yeah. So I am more my father's daughter but then Veronica's daughter.
Wendy, how did this whole journey start for you? Were you always into entrepreneurship, or how did it start?
Okay, for me, I think it started from my mom, which is, she has been doing a lot of things. She owned a restaurant. She had a grocery store.
Which grocery is that? You know that grocery definition as cheap?
Yeah, when it comes to, noodles.
Okay, so it's not the grocery thing. It's not Garibi. It's grocery and floating berries.
Okay, so I saw her do a lot of all of those things, and it really inspired me. My dad was a 9-to-5 person, and he's 9-to-5 people, they are like routine like people. He goes to work, comes back, rest, watch TV, help you do your assignment. But my mom, she was all over the place, like doing a lot of things at the same time, and most times I get to assist. So I think that was where everything started from. I had that flair. So even at a very young age, I always wanted to learn new things. I always wanted to learn new things. I was friends with the hairdresser so that, they can allow me to stay in their shop and learn how to make hair. And I had one auntie, I'll just beg her, auntie, can I come and help you wash plates? Just because I wanted to see how she makes the meat pie. You understand? So I just took advantage of, my environment. Then we had a lot of people into business, and, that really inspired me to, do these things. And, there's something about business, the challenges, most people don't know about that part.
Yeah.
But I saw that. I saw that sometimes my mom is understaffed. So you see, the challenges around it. Sometimes the money is not coming in as it should. Sometimes, the sales are not coming in as they should.
So you got exposed to
Exactly. So when people come and say, "Oh, I've not sold for 1 month," I say, "Calm down." It's like that. You understand? But people who have not experienced these things firsthand, they don't understand.
Would you say that's played a role in how you manage your different businesses, Sylvia?
Yes. And, I grew up with this I can do spirit. And, anything that you can't do is because you do not want to do it. That's how I see things.
What you study in school?
Religious and cultural studies.
So you study religious and cultural studies in school. What are you doing right now?
I'm into crafting.
Nice. The thing I like about this episode is, I want this podcast to be a mix of different kind of businesses. It's not just about online businesses. It's not just about digital businesses. It's about people killing it in every other sector. There's somebody coming on this show. He sells batteries and phone accessories. There are people that have come for digital, consulting, influencers and all that. But it's called Entrepreneurs Connect. That is why it's all around, and that's why I'm particularly excited about this show today. So how did it start for you? When you say crafting, what do you mean? What do you do?
I make headpieces, neck pieces,
Okay.
bags, and luxury embellishment.
You do that with machines, or how do you do that?
Just my hands.
Handmade neck pieces and head piece. That's a lot of work.
A whole lot of.
I mean, come on, that's a lot of work. How long have you been doing it for?
I think for the accessories and the headpieces and all, I started in 2020.
What was starting out for you?
Starting was not easy, but before then I was into embellishment of clothes, beading and all. I was really stressing the living daylight out of me, and the income was just not it.
When you say embellishment of clothes, just so I'm not the only local man here, I know some of you are local too, so it's not only me. What do you mean by embellishment of clothes, Bikono?
The use of different kinds of accessories, including beads and stones, to design an outfit.
Also, all those dresses women wear, you see like it's stones, that's what you used to do before you started making headpieces, and you say it was stressful.
Yes, it takes you so much time, days, and a lot of back pains, and the income was not matching. It wasn't paying off at all. It was really, I had health issues because of it, so I had to take a break. But before taking a break, it was a friend of mine that I was living with at that time, and I was doing little head accessories like the fascinator and all, but I would use my idea from clothes embellishment and add it to it. And she had to call my attention that you're stressing over these clothes. Have you seen the kind of headpieces you make? That was it. That was the eye opener. And I was like, okay, this is actually making a lot of sense. So gradually I had to stop designing clothes and just go fully into the headpieces production. At the beginning, it wasn't rosy at all. But one thing that kept me going was my passion for it.
Okay.
I loved doing what I was doing. So even when I wasn't making anything from it initially, the passion kept me going.
There were days when you were not making anything. Weeks.
Yeah.
How did you survive? What were you doing to survive them?
I was living with a friend at that time, so she didn't see it as anything to take care of the feeding, and also
Well,
she was Angel. Oman. Her name is Oman.
Omar, shout out to Omar.
Yeah, shout out to Oman.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, how, you started, there were days when you were not making money and all that. What was it like getting your first customer?
Oh wow, I was so happy. It was like, oh my God, so okay, we started this already. Actually, it was Almond had a hand in it because she's a fashion designer. She's currently in Abuja.
Okay.
So she could make we started off with doing shoots, photo shoots. She would make dresses and she would ask me to do a headpiece to go with it. So she helped with the whole thing, and that was how clients, started coming. We did collaboration with other vendors like makeup artists, photographer, and publicity here and there. And then I ran my first sponsored ad with the headpiece. That was on Facebook. I got some clients, and through referrals.
So you left school. What next? Did you start the Women in Port Harcourt brand immediately, or what led to you starting this WIP brand?
Okay, I've been a fan of my comfortability first amongst every other thing. And, as a person, for you to be able to achieve a lot of things, there are a lot of things that you need to delegate. A lot of things need to be done by other people while you focus on the main things. And, I'm someone who loves to shop online. That was the first thing. I'm someone who loves to shop online. I don't need to go to anywhere physical. I can be at work and everything I need to make soup with should be in the house already waiting for me. You understand? So, and then when I came online to purchase, some of these essentials that I need, I'll only be seeing Lagos, Abuja, London, US. So it was a bit of a challenge for me. So that was when I was talking with one of my friend, Mandy. Or in my sitting room that day. That was March 14th, 2018. So, we talked about it, and I was like, I'm not seeing these vendors here, and it's a bit of a challenge. I was like, come on, start something now. Let's see how we can gather everybody together. I started, and it was more like I was in everybody's mind, like, please, I'm looking for this, and people started sending me, things that they were looking for, places they wanted to be in, and all of that. And before I knew what was going on, even the vendors started coming themselves and said, oh, please, you need to put me out there. I think a lot of people are making requests for my own service. You understand? So that was how it started. And another thing too that really helped was I'm a techie person. Right? So it was not difficult to navigate through the apps to make the work easier for me and all of that. So I think that really helped me because I think my dad exposed us to computer at a very tender.
Yeah, and parents are to that. You have to be grateful for them. The first time I ever used the computer, I was in nursery 3. The first time I ever used the computer, that played a very key role in whatever I'm doing right now. So beautiful. So that's how the Women in Port Harcourt.
Exactly. That was how it started.
Yeah. So how has it been so far? Talking to people, being the middlewoman sometimes, mediating. I see you every time, mediating between vendor and buyer. How are you able to do everything you do today? You're a mother, you have 3 kids. How are you able to do everything you do today and still manage the Women in Port Harcourt's brand successfully?
Okay, like I said, I always delegate. And when I delegate, I take my time to let people understand what I want from them. Right? I remember when I first, took in people to help me manage the page. It wasn't easy because they were coming with their own personal traits. So someone comes in the DM and tries to abuse me, or use some kind of words, and they're like, Mama, I'm going to reply this woman. She can't talk to you like that. Like they were ready to fight and all of that. So, and then I called them and said, no, just leave her. They will get angry. No, now, why would she talk to you like that? Does she know you from, and this is 4 years together. I tell you now, if somebody comes to the DM to misbehave, they will do the same thing Wendy would do. They will tell her, I beg, leave her, I beg. We don't have time for others people. God, block her. Be on the time. Because there's no, you don't give room for all of these things.
Yeah.
You start to abuse somebody you start exchanging words. And for me, I wasn't trained that way. You understand? I feel like there are other ways to resolve problems than, fighting all the time. So that really helped me because they understood what I was all about. They understood how, how we Wendy do this thing. That's what they do. You understand? Because I made them understand not everybody will even know that it's not me they're talking to.
Yeah.
So you need to sound like Wendy. You need to do that. It's only people who are really, my friends, that if they enter my DM, they know that it's not me. But if you don't know me before, you probably think most of the times you're talking to Wendy. You understand? And then it really helped. And at some point, when I knew that some things were becoming overwhelming, when brainstorm came into the picture and all of that, I had to get like a personal assistant. So why did I do that? I wanted someone who knows everything that I know. Oh, Wendy, we need your CV. She has it. Oh, Wendy, we need your personal this. I have someone to send it to. And truthfully, it really helped me because, like for instance, we had to get your website, and they were disturbing me. Where's the content? Where's the content? Where's the time to sit down? To prepare this content. But when she came, I said, "Oh, see this. Get all this content out, and give me a sample. I'll edit it, and you go back to time." So it was really helping me, to achieve more. Sometimes I want to talk about something, I want to go there. So hey, babe, do the research. And she does the research and comes back to me and say, "This is what I researched on this particular topic."
Be smart.
Yeah, she's very smart. So that's really, really helped me. And I'm a very good time manager. Manage my time very.
I see that when you have an appointment with somebody and
I don't.
showing up, you're itching.
I've itched and don't waste my time because that 30 minutes, I know what I can achieve within that 30 minutes. You understand? So time manager, very strict with my time. If I say today is content creation, I don't pick any other call apart from my father or my husband until I'm done with what I'm doing. Because if I miss it, a lot is at stake for me. I might miss a deadline, and that means I'm losing money. And I'm not ready to lose money. So I'm very strict with my time. I made sure that also, while dealing with all of these brands, if there's something that I cannot meet up with, I pre-inform. You understand? And so that, I have good relationship with everybody that are watching. Yes, sir.
What looking back right now, I mean, you have a couple businesses that you run. Looking back right now, what do you wish you knew before you started?
Okay. When you lack direction, you waste a lot of time. For example, in the Bible, when the Israelites, the journey also to take them how long? Took them. My Bible book, is it 40 years or 400 years? Which one?
It was 40 years.
It also take them 40 days. They were just rigmaroling because they had no direction, right? For me, when I was starting out, if I had known, I spent 2 years on Facebook writing stories for free. Just basically writing my stories. I wasn't even selling anything on my page. I wasn't selling anything. If you come to my page, you just enjoy my stories and go.
And go, no call to action.
Nothing. So if I knew then what I know now, I would have done most of these things I am doing today. Create a digital product. And I would have allowed my authenticity run my business the way it does now. Like on Instagram, when I came on Instagram, I came as myself. No makeup. I don't do makeup. No hair. I came as a regular, everyday Nigerian woman.
Yeah.
I'm not going to show you myself in sexy lingerie because this is not practical.
Yeah.
It's not me. It may be practical to some people, but that's not me.
It's not your personality.
And when I did that, it's like it gave permission to a lot of women to become their real selves. No need of trying to show up on social media and show people that, oh, all is well. All is never well with everybody.
Yeah.
So I post my failures, I post my challenges, I post my struggles as well as my successes.
Yeah.
Social media is notorious for
Only
fake living.
right?
Yes, we only post ourselves when we're laughing, when we're smiling, to show that nothing is ever going wrong. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, it's a whole mess. And it gives people unnecessary expectations of life.
True.
So you see them easily depressed. They are anxious. Everybody seems to be doing well except me. Meanwhile, the truth is,
Everybody's in shiggy.
the shege is shared. All of us, we are seeing so when I start talking about these things, people are like, oh, and I feel so touched when people say, this thing you just talked about, this is where I am in my life right now. And I feel better knowing that this is not just me failing. Failure is part of human life. If you don't fail, how would you know when you've got it? But these days we behave as if failure is anathema. It's an error to fail. Fail.
About failure, though, when you have failed projects, how do you handle it?
My brother, my method may not be your method, but my personality, I have a very childlike mind. And the thing about children is they don't hold on to stuff. You will knock a child now. In the next 2 minutes, call the child will come back. Children forget easily. The same way I do. If I try this, it doesn't work. I look at myself and I'm like, well, been there, I've done that, it didn't work out. Why didn't it work out? Is it through a fault of mine? If I am sure I did everything I was supposed to do, let me give you an example. Like 2-3 years ago, when I started out as an influencer, maybe like 3 years ago, I had the idea to go to my children's school and meet the proprietor and tell him, sir, I love your school and we've been here since 2011. Why not place ads on my page? Because my page has a lot of young mothers who are always asking me for recommendations for schools. And if they know my children are going to this school, it's an added plus for you. We've not even talked of remuneration, like how much, of course, you're going to pay me. And in my mind, I was like, if we get to the money talk, I will negotiate with him, maybe to have a child's school for free. Or something like that, depending on how many adverts it's going to place. It was a smart idea. I ran it by my husband. He was like, that's very smart. I picked up courage. I sent a message to the school admin. I booked an appointment with the guy. He agreed to see me. And I went there and I made my pitch. The guy was very interested and excited. And he was like, this is a very smart idea. And I said, your school is not good on social media. In fact, your page does not have up to 10.5 followers. I now showed him similar schools who are doing very well on social media because they are posting their school, their students' activities, and it assures mothers and parents that this school is up and doing. Your page is empty. Allow me create content for you. The man was like, wow, this is very good. We spoke for like 2 hours. He said, okay, that he will think on it and get back to me. Till date, this happened like 3-4 years ago. This was maybe in 2020. 2020. Till date, as I speak to you, this man never called back. I kept checking, don't think I left it open-ended. I kept sending messages to the WhatsApp number I had. I was like, please ask the director the status of my discussion with him and all that. The man did not answer me. He did not say, oh, I have checked it in accordance, it's a good idea. Right now, I want to focus on building before, he silence. In my heart, I felt bad. But again, I was like, I did what I was supposed to do. It's his loss, not mine. Other schools came, paid me money. I created content for them and they sold. Now, last year, the same idea I took to one person that failed. Another school calls me up, says, oh, we want to create content. And I'm like, okay, I'm actually considering your school for my daughter, but they said, no, that you can't say that to. Yeah, you must bring her. After much, we agreed on how much I was going to be paid for my work. Then from my fees, we removed my daughter's
school.
Yes. This was something I tried 3 years ago. It didn't work. So sometimes, for some ideas, it's not really their time. Sometimes, for the people you are going to work with, they may not share the vision you do. So it's not your fault. And of course, sometimes it's your fault, your presentation. So you grow, you learn from it. Let there be a takeaway from that experience. Then move ahead.
Makes sense. Now, this question is interesting because a lot of entrepreneurs talk about the good times, the sweet times, being able to achieve this, being able to do this amount and all of that. But have you started any business that failed before?
Will I say failed? I wouldn't necessarily say failed because I was doing well. I had Wendy Cake Pops.
Okay.
It was...
Wendy Cake Pops?
Yes.
What was it about?
Cake Pops, they are like cakes on a stick. They're like lollipop, but they are cake.
Like stick sweets.
But it's cake. Instead of sweets, it's cake that you haven't.
Okay.
So, but I don't think it was a failed business because I was getting the orders. You get? I think what happened was when I started giving birth, I couldn't. You understand? Because sometimes if you ask bakers, most of the times is in the night they get to do the whole decor and all of that. So I think I wasn't able to manage.
So you're doing the baking yourself?
Yes, I was doing it. It was just new, so I was doing it myself, and it's not something that you needed an assistant just immediately. The only assistant that I had was my brother-in-law. Then you helped me deliver, and I was staying on net, so it was a bit of a challenge, delivering to Port Harcourt, because that cake was it was, what would I call it now? It's a bit mild, made from chocolate. So sun or light, start melting. So it was a bit of a challenge. So I would say it failed, but I was the one who, ended it because I wasn't able to manage it on my own. And it was not a kind of business that I could just bring somebody in. You understand? So I think that's just one. Then I've done shoes and clothes for adults. But I think that thing too is management. I wasn't able to manage it because my office, they were moving me from this location to that location, and I didn't really have capable hands.
So you started by working in 9 to 5 first?
Yes, when I left, I was working 9 to 5. That was when I worked in Nigeria Energy as an employee service assistant. See, I was there for like 4 years, and it was even when I was working that I had those business.
Okay.
The shoes and bags, that was when I was working with them. I was doing that, but because they were transferring me too much, it was a bit of a challenge, so I had to kill it. Then also the same thing, sometimes when you're not there, I had Winnie's Beauty Palace. It was the salon. So I wasn't there to manage it, so it was a bit of a challenge since I was not really based in Port Harcourt. So I had to close that too. Well, I really did well, and assuming I left it, I'm sure I would have done better. But I knew what most people, the problem is, some people don't even know what their problem is. I knew what my problems were, and I knew that I couldn't manage it. So I just had to shut it down. Instead of pumping money, and money is not coming out.
At what point did you learn how to, run the business as a business? Because when we all start out, it's difficult to, differentiate business funds from personal funds. It's difficult to kind of structure. It's difficult to put a lot of things in place.
I would say I'm still in that process because I know for the part about getting clients, 3 things. The first one is referral.
Okay.
I think that's the most important, because when I do something for you, all you need to do is just to be it. You don't need to start preaching. The piece preaches itself. Yes, like it got so, let's say, amazing that at a point clients started coming for their headpiece first before choosing their outfits. They would tell me, please, we need you to create a piece for us. A piece will determine the kind of outfit, color, and everything that we're supposed to, go with. And then, yes, that's one. One is referral, which is for me the most important one. Then 2, sometimes I shoot my shot.
Yeah.
I know initially when my brand had not gotten to that point, there were some people I didn't bother myself because I knew that there's a process. I need to work to get to a certain stage and then boom. And so the shooting of the shots comes and I just have to select, like, okay, who can I do? Sometimes I get a positive answer, sometimes I don't, and I don't feel bad about it.
When you say shooting shots, what do you mean? Do you mean that I just call DM people on
Instead of
Instagram?
anybody.
Big shots?
Yes, big shots, and people that I know that their standard matches mine.
Do you sign NDAs with them?
No.
Good. So can you blow your trumpet now? Who are some of the big shots you work with?
Tiana's Empire.
Tiana's Empire?
Yes.
Who else?
I'm currently doing one for NHN Couture. I've done with Hioma Linda.
Wow.
And who again? Okay, yes, Stephanie. But there was an issue with the outfit, so she could not wear the headpiece. Yes. Who else?
Please, by the side, remind me.
Coco by Chloe. Okay, yes, but it was actually for her mom. Yes, so I did for Coco by Chloe, and there's still some in the pipeline. We can't just say.
And so you started this years ago, 2008, and then the lockdown in 2020.
Yes.
Now you've grown to this, what I'll call a big brand. How much do you charge for your headpieces right now?
Okay.
I mean, considering that they're handmade.
Yes, the smallest piece is currently 85,000. My highest piece is 1,200,000 plus. There's a fraction.
People pay that.
Not people. I have certain. I don't serve everybody. My brand doesn't serve everybody. Yes, so it's just serve certain kind of people, the high class, the bourgeoisie. So yes, those are the kind of people my business serve.
How do you react to failure? So you start a project and it's looking like project is not working out. How do you respond to that?
Well, when I got to, what did they call this school again? UST. I first went to UST. I stayed there for 1 semester before I left. I wanted to actually study law. And then something happened. I think that was when they changed the rules and said you must have a C in maths. And unfortunately, I had a D in maths. So I prayed, I casted, and I binded, hoping that something was going to change. Nothing changed. So I had to leave the school at some point. I went to Babcock. And, that particular thing, it changed me a bit. It's just like, whenever you try something and it doesn't work, don't kill yourself, just move forward. So that's how I started reacting to failure. For me, once I tried, there are things that I've started on with that I did not complete.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this thing is not all about me. It's all about me and these people. So if I'm bringing something to their table and they're not buying it, so why am I forcing it? There are things that I've brought to the table, but I didn't need to shout too much. Everybody keyed into it. So sometimes when you do these things and nobody is keying into it, it's just to go back. You get, and okay, let me look at this thing again. Are you sure I'm using the right words to talk about this thing? Are you sure, I'm doing these things rightly? So for me, when I feel like something is not working, I check if really I've done everything and it's not working, then I just kill it and move on.
The thing with failure is it makes people afraid sometimes. So, for example, you try to do something, it did not work, it affects how you try to do the next day. How does it happen to you, first of all? How do you fight that?
Everything is a mindset. It was very easy for me to point out all the problems that I had in those businesses because I monitor what I do. I monitor my success. I monitor my failures.
Yeah.
So when it happens, like sometimes I'm trying to sell off something and it's not working, I just go back to the drawing board. Okay, what can I do differently? Who do I meet someone? Do I collaborate? Do I call someone else in? That's what I do. Because for me, there's no, problem that doesn't have any solution. When I mean solution might be shutting it down too. So that's what happens to me. So anything that fails right now, I've built myself to that extent that it's not going to stop me from making the next move. Do you understand? Like when I started planning this Transform Your Business with Wendy, some things went down and it should have been enough reason for me to say, oh, let me shut this down. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing that again. Go, man, life goes on. You understand? And that you have life alone in you is enough reason to try different things. People who are in the grave, they can't try again. But you have the opportunity. So any person who has failed, who is scared, sometimes I see people, they come to my DM and they say, oh, please, what business can I start with 2 million? I mean, a business that will be paying me monthly. Please, I'm scared to fail. I'm scared to lose money. And I'm like, sister, you need to go back to the drawing board. Every business person will lose money at some point. So like somebody came to meet me and said, she wants to do business. Business is not for everybody. It's only 9 to 5. I can thrive and all of that. And I told her, I said, see, don't even start any business. Go and stay with a business person. Let the person allow you to see what the person is making. When the person is losing, let the person allow you see everything. Let's see if your mindset will change first. Because some people, what is killing their business is the mindset. They are seeing this thing, they're already seeing it as a failure. So in that kind of scenario, when you now start the business and maybe 2 weeks, nobody has entered your store, you understand? That means you want to shut down immediately.
Thank you for that answer, Wendy. That was like super, super profound. So your failures should not define you.
No.
And then bear it in mind that you're going to fail at some point. You're going to lose money at some point.
With it.
Oh, beautiful. So it's not a rosy journey. There are highs and lows.
It's not. If we begin to explain everything, why most of the times when we that have people who look up to us refuse to talk a lot about the failures, is because it will scare some people. Do you understand? So it's not like we don't want. That's why we talk about it, but once in a while. It's not every day we want to talk about it. Because there's nothing that you want to do in this life that's 100%. It's only God that is 100%. But every other thing, so far as it's man-made, at some point or the other, you feel one of all this friction.
Now, how do you handle disappointments and failure?
From whose end?
From your end.
I speak to my clients. I tell them before time. I try to tell them before time. Like, okay, there is a delay, or this is what is happening currently, and I would be needing more time. Because most times the fault is not from me, it's from my workers. But I also have to know that they are humans. Yeah.
It's from me anyway. But that's right. We want to be aside. At the end of the day, you bear the responsibility.
I know. That's why I won't go and start telling them that my workers did this or that. I just directly tell them, we need time to be able to fix this, more time to be able to do that. Sometimes too, it could be the absence of certain accessories, because since they are custom made, they are not just accessories, or you can't just get all the accessories just anywhere. Like you just go to the market and pick them up. There are some you have to place order for, and it could be also delay on the manufacturer's end. So yes, I try to explain to them before time. And if I've had situations whereby I could send a client a video like, okay, I'm done with this piece, and then they start picking. Initially when I was still growing up, like, why, but over time I realized that you need to calm down. For me right now, the satisfaction of my clients is paramount. Okay, how do you want it to go? Because okay, I remember a job last week. She made order for 2 egg pieces. When I was done with them, she complained that, okay, the 2 isn't actually as full as the initial one. I'm like, okay, point out where you feel like there needs to be, fill up. Now she did, and I took out my time, filled them up, and at the end of the day, she was happy. that for me is better than any other thing.
Beautiful.
Customer satisfaction. She was happy, and that was it.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care of yourself and cheers. Bye-bye.